is to get Mark and Son's cable. Wow, get Mark and Son, you. What a This one's called Kicks. Get my kicks on me. My story is all I need. Get my kicks on you. That's all I look like the kicks for. Leave my kicks on my head. That's the kicks for. Get my press out of the pressure. Get my kicks on my knee. We're gonna drop it with my honey. Get my kicks, feel alright. Take hold of my hand all night. Kicks for. Leave my kicks on my aggression. Kicks for. Leave my kicks on my obsession. Get my kicks in bars. Soft lines, loud guitars. Get my kicks on, feel alright. Take hold of my hand all night. Kicks for. Leave my kicks on my aggression. Kicks for. Leave my kicks on my obsession. Thanks very much. Here comes hot bear, shoot out with every stare. She ain't got no place to go. I just gotta walk her home. All I wanna know is that she's stuck. All I wanna know is that she's stuck. Yeah, here comes that girl again. Ain't seen him alone or when. She's got it sometime more. She knows what it's for. All I wanna know is she's stuck. All I wanna know is that she's stuck. Like this. Here I am, see me straight, to the red speed. She got wide, she got sky, dancing to dry you wide. All I wanna know is that she's stuck. All I wanna know is that she's stuck. I'll tell you, baby. All I wanna know is that she's stuck. Cheers.
We've got new stuff from Manic Street Preachers, Teenage Fan Club, Throwing Muses, Pigface and Hugh Reid and the Velvet Underpants. We kicked off the programme though with a track from the UK subs called Teenage. I'm joined by Charlie Harper. How are you doing? Welcome back.
Yeah, really good to be here.
You're playing at Claude Moore Inn tonight.
Yeah, once again. It's like the kick-off of like a big tour with Discharge. So we're doing a few Scottish gigs as usual to warm up.
It's an awful long way to come, isn't it?
To warm up, yeah. But we like it up here, you know, it's really good.
How many times?
Food's better than English food.
How many times have you been up now? Be about the third, is it?
No, this is just our second time up
This
in
is only the
Inverness.
second?
Yeah.
Oh, because the last
yeah.
one got cancelled, didn't it?
Yeah. It's not every year we can do it. Yeah.
What's the band been up to since the last album, Mad Cow Fever?
We just finished a tour of America, which went on for 2 months.
How big are the UK subs in America?
It's so vast, it depends where you go. If they drag us through the Midwest, you know, like you just get a few hundred a show. If we go on the West Coast, you know, it's a little bit more. You can get 500 up to, you know, like a few thousand. And we haven't done the East Coast for about 3 years because I think, you know, East Coast has got disco fever or something.
I think we're going to get the whole band in. This will be pretty good stuff. You can introduce them all. Is it a new lineup or is it similar?
Totally new to when we were last up a couple of years ago.
Well, hopefully they'll pop through in a tick and we can you can introduce them to the fans. UK subs, you know, it's such a name, and this punk rock thing is being bandied about at the moment, saying, punk rock. The Daily Star is responsible for a lot of it, saying that there's a new wave of punk rock led by the Manic Street Preachers. who I know you've seen because
Yeah.
I met you at Manic Street Preacher's gig once. Do you think there really is a new surge of punk rock music? Or do these people not understand what it was all about?
It's funny because a lot of people are interested, and there are, people have just realised that new punk bands do come through, and some of them are really good. The Manic Street Preachers are a bit special because they do everything right. They do all the right thing. Now, a lot of the punk bands have come after, like the '77 boom, and not done anything right, and they've not really understand what it's about. The Manic Street Preachers have just captured the whole essence of the early kind of punk revolution.
Right.
There's been a few bands which have come up, and they've been a little bit too revolutionary to kind of catch on commercially. I can think of Gay Bikers on Acid. Excellent punk band. You think of Subhumans, who are now Citizen Fish, and you should, if you ever get a chance to see Citizen Fish, you've got to go because they are truly brilliant. Like a worldwide force. And they're really a brilliant band. There's a band in London going around called Daisy Chainsaw.
Oh,
they're really so great.
Yeah, I think I've got something with me.
Oh,
I'll try and play it
yeah.
later. I played something from them last week. They're just about to release their first single.
There's a lot of things coming out, and there's a lot of old bands who are reforming. It's called on in a kind of commercial way. On the ground level, on the underground, the kids are just coming to see their favourite bands, and that's it. So we only pull about 200-300 people a night, where we always have done, and nothing's really changed for us much. But we can kind of fill out the marquee, like the new marquee with about 800 people, So it's sneaking up there. It's sneaking up. We're getting ready for if it does happen, but as yet it's sneaking up very slowly.
You did play Brixton Academy not so long ago with a heap of other bands who seem to have reformed. X-Ray Specs headlining. How was that gig?
It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. More people came than were supposed to come. There was like over 5,000 people, and the place only holds 4,500. So you couldn't get a drink for love or money, and you couldn't get a seat upstairs and to watch in peace, because it was a bit wild downstairs. It was brilliant, and all these little signs say that it is there. There is something happening. Definitely something happening.
Yeah. Who's this?
This is Lars. He's our guitarist. We met him in California, and he said, "I'd love to join a band like the UK Subs." I knew we were losing our guitarist. He wanted to stay in America. He didn't want to come back to Blighty anymore, So I said, "Well, there's going to be a hole there, and he's Lars is slotted right in there."
So what's your own background?
Well, like in the sense of music.
Yeah.
Well, I was playing. It's a funny thing because they were playing the same night. We were playing this big punk festival in Oakland, and they were playing in Berkeley. It's like across the water, and we were playing with bands like the Melvins, JFA.
All right.
And we were right before all the headliners, and they, I guess, got to the gig late. Otherwise, they would have came and had a chance to see us, and we covered like organized crime. And like I seen them, and I figured there's my opportunity, to go talk to them and stuff like that. And just words became words, and I said, this is like the UK Subs. I was brought up on them, and it's like I've been a punk for a long time, and this is like my favorite punk band, and it's like I'm living out my fantasy now. So I get to see the whole world and whatever, and play the music that I always really wanted to play. So it's like, to me, it's the greatest opportunity in my whole life.
It was funny because last week I had a Californian in who plays with a band called the Joyriders, who's based in Edinburgh, and he first came over to this country to play with the Exploited. So it also
they're also in America right now.
The Exploited just played in San Francisco.
Yeah. So you'll know the American scene very well.
Yeah.
I mean, in relation to bands like you mentioned the Melvins.
Yeah.
Well,
the Melvins to me were not really punk. I mean, I considered
they'd fit in with bands like Mudhoney and Sonic.
Yeah, so it's a sub pop type of thing. I mean, the punk thing is like there was that big crossover thing, and it's like you had all your like the Exploited and all those type of bands still kept it going. Even though they crossed the line and did like metal records and whatever like that. And that's what seemed like all the bands were doing. And it's like I was sick of listening to all the punk bands going metal or going pop, and the Subs were the only ones that weren't really ever doing that. They were always sticking to their thing, sticking to the punk ideal.
With me is Charlie Harper and Lars. Is it Laz or Lars?
Lars.
As in Metallica.
Yeah.
Yeah. This Guns N' Roses thing, of course, they're covering one of your songs down in the farm. Has that actually happened yet? And is it going to be released?
Well,
Any idea?
You're
waiting there. You're
know,
waiting for this paycheck to come in, aren't you, Charlie?
This is it. You know, the two albums, Guns N' Roses albums, have come out, and now they're doing. We know they've done.
Right, yeah.
Now we know they've done the Salute to Punk EP, which now everyone's saying there's enough on it to have an LP, right? I mean, I just got this from a rock magazine, that the record company are just holding it by and waiting for the right time to release it, which could be right before Christmas, or it could be like next year or never. You know, I mean, you know, we just don't know, but they just wait for the right time, and whether that will help the whole thing, you know, I mean, that might start the whole, you know, like punk boom, you know, explosion #2 off. You know, we just don't know. But we've heard what they've done to our track, and it really is like truly amazing. You know, it's really good.
Great.
Also, there's a big album by a band in Germany called Totenhosen,
Yes.
who have done another kind of
Indeed.
salute to punk thing and used all old bands, you know, and that is a great album. They've done every song on it just as good and better than it was the original. They're a great band, and it's funny that the German scene is so amazing, because like the biggest band in Germany are a punk band, and the scene over there has never died. It's always been very, very strong and getting stronger.
It's been great having you in again, Charlie. And Lars, thanks very much for coming all the way from California to join us on the programme tonight.
Yeah, just to do this.
UK Subs, of course, playing at the Keppoch Cullodenmoor tonight. Hopefully there are going to be loads and loads of people there.
We hope so. You all come, you hear? Okay, thanks very much, Jim.
Right, cheers very much.
Cheers.
We'll
Bye-bye.
hear another UK Subs track, Stranglehold.
1, 2, 3.